Aquarius, welcome to BohoMystic. This is going to be a really interesting read. I know I say that often, but this one really is. I actually had to do research on this one. And it was amazing how what I was being shown and what I was being told and what came through and with the research, how everything just came together. So I think that you guys are actually going to have a very, if I may be so bold to say, life-altering August. I think that, as I've said in all my videos, huge changes are upon us, and I think that we are all experiencing it. But Aquarius, I think that you are experiencing epiphanies, breakthroughs, something big in August. So let me get into my meditation. It was beautiful. So I know that I told you guys that you were going to be up first since you were last the past few times. But I was concerned that it wasn't going to come through. So I was coming downstairs getting ready to start filming these and started doing pretty much what I do for every single reading. I lit some incense. It's dragon's blood incense, and I actually thought to myself at that moment, I should mention that in case that's synchronicity for someone. And I heard water in a desert. Water in a desert or water in the desert. And I was like, ooh. So I immediately knew what decks to pull. I had the Lucid Minds Tarot and Oracle. I also pulled out my really beloved Sedona Oracle deck and another desert deck that I don't know the name of, and a nature oracle deck that I use. It's just a standby, and it's always so amazing. I mean, it always has the perfect nuance to every single reading. And sat down for the meditation. So the first thing I see in my meditation was a blinding sun. And I immediately knew that I was in the desert. And when I say blinding sun, I felt like I could hear the heat waves. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, or if they've ever been in a really, really hot environment or in a desert environment where it's dry, but you feel like you can actually see the heat waves and hear like a crackling. That's how I felt. And then I was going between two canyons. I felt like in that valley of canyons, and I knew it was canyons. And that was just really cool. And I said, going through canyons, like the valley between the canyons. And the rock faces were really tall on either side of me. And we kept going. And I don't know why I keep saying we. That's interesting. That's like the first time I think I've ever said that in one of my meditations. Maybe you and I, maybe me and the collective that I'm tapping into. Wow. Okay. I love this. This is like firsts for me. Okay. So we were going, I guess. And I look up because I saw like something different in this part of this rock face, or facing towards me kind of. And I look up and I see like a carving into the stone, into the mountain. So I'm looking up and I hear altar. And it was like as though someone carved a huge altar, but it looked like a person, like an altar to someone on the rock face. I couldn't see who it was, but I knew that it was carved in, and it was a human form sitting in the rock face. And then I kept looking around and I'm like, oh, are there more? And then the first thing that comes to me is like Africa, Middle East, because I remember a long time ago, probably more than a decade, my husband and I were watching a video where this like ancient city of stone, and I couldn't place and remember what it was. So I wrote down Africa, Middle East, because that's what all was coming to me, and how there were like apartments across, like there were apartments like carved in, or little places that you could sleep carved in the stone. It was, I could not place it. And I said, with apartments in walls, question mark, question mark. And then I was in the cosmos, in the dark cosmos. And I looked down and I just see a huge planet, which I knew was Earth, but it was dark. It was like seeing it from outer space or seeing it from the cosmos, but not like in, not like from the moon where you can see the blues and the yet whites and the clouds and all that. No, it was just like a big globe. I knew it was there. I felt the presence of the actual planet, and there were tons of little lights, like at night, like being showcased around the entire globe. And then all of a sudden there was this huge like bolt of energy and light coming straight down right to the planet. And it was just glorious, but it was like forceful. And I'm like, holy moly, what is that? Like, is that aggressively forceful? Or, and then I'm like, no, it's like as though it was like piercing into the planet. And I thought to myself, are all those little pinpoints of light all the Aquarian collective? Then this bolt of light, but it's really energy, takes the form of a sword. So the point of the sword is in the planet. Again, we're talking about huge scale. We're in the cosmos. So imagine like there's a planet here, there's a globe here, and the sword is now taking up the expanse of the universe. And the point of the sword is in there. The hilt of the sword and everything is out. It remains to be energy and light. And I said, being enlightened, breakthrough. Those words seemed insignificant as I wrote them afterwards, because what I was feeling was like, I could feel the power of what was being done. It's like I could have exploded into a million pieces, like a shattering of ego, shattering of self, but bursting forth like you're breaking through. Maybe that's why I wrote breakthrough. It was very, 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 like I felt the pressure in me of wanting to just disintegrate. Maybe that's, yeah. Yeah. And then I wrote down with a big arrow to breakthrough is that the water in the desert. It's like finding water in a desert. Yeah. And coming upon, and you're like at the end of your resources and you just come upon water, life sustaining water, life giving water. Remember I said about like the energy waves and the heat, and it's like the sun who rules Leo, and we're in Leo season today, moving forward actually. And we're talking about in a couple weeks. This reading is for a couple weeks from now. It's like the sun is going to be illuminating you, shining the steps you need to take for this breakthrough. And then I did the pre-shuffle of the decks that I pulled out for you guys. And I got the Greening Man with renewal. And then I wrote reborn. Isn't that crazy? The Greening Man. You walk out from being a parched version of yourself to the Greening Man. And then the last one that fell out, which I looked at really quickly because I put it right back in, it was, I believe, the mouse one that says niche. And I said renewal where you're planted, question mark. Like you making the desert into an abundant green land. You molded and changed where you were and were reborn and renewed where you were planted. You didn't have to go somewhere else. You managed to create life in a desert. I told you, Aquarius, you guys are blowing my mind in a great way. It's amazing. It really, really is. All right, so let's get down to what August has in store for you. Let's see what we can ferret out of these cards. Let's see what we have. I'm going to do a couple of these oracles on the side. This is the Sedona deck. It's beautiful. I love Sedona, Arizona. What does the Aquarian Collective need to know, please? For the month of August, what are we looking at? Month of August, please, Spirit. What is the universe trying to tell us? All right, I'll take them. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have parent with teaching. Several animals with their offspring. Responsibility at the bottom of this one. Personal responsibility must be taken. You created the situation and now you must deal with it. Like the swallow, both parents take responsibility of caring for their young. There can be no resolution if it's pawned off to someone else. Whoa, guys. That's eerie. Provide in grasslands at the bottom of the, underneath that. The green lands that I was talking about, the greening man. Community, reef, fish, oh. Someone stepping up to the plate to become a parent. That's new age order. I feel like maybe even deciding to co-parent with someone. And I was going to say, maybe you weren't or haven't been involved in your child's life the way you should. And you have a breakthrough or epiphany and realize you should and you can, that you're capable of being the parent that you think you can't be. Then underneath here we have Airport Mesa. That's masculine energy. Oak Creek Canyon, moving to another level. Some of you may become parents or find out you're becoming parents. And it's something unexpected and has completely thrown you for a loop. You may feel like you don't know if you can do it. You don't have enough to sustain yourself. How can you sustain someone else? Oh my gosh. This is called the Sustain Oracle, I think. Oh. Okay. Okay. And I have Sacred Magic here. San Francisco Peaks. So I looked up. I completely forgot to tell you. I looked up. I looked up that temple because I couldn't remember what it was for the sake of me. And I believe what I was seeing was the temple at Petra, and that's in Jordan. It's gorgeous. It's like on people's bucket lists, and I mean, it's like Jordan's one of their most like tourist attractions, period. But listen to this. A wide hall led into 3 rooms, inner rooms. The middle room was the holiest space, holding an altar to Petra's main god, Dashara. It is believed that the Kasar Albint is dedicated to this god, who was compared to the Greek god Zeus. You were a nomad. You were a nomad. Then I looked up Dashara. What is Dashara the god of? If we consider the nature of Dashara as god of the mountains, crazy, as storm god, or as a vegetation god, and as a god with solar features. And if we consider the function of Dashara and the developments in the veneration of Dashara and Petra as the local supreme god, as the protector of clans and of the dynasty. Yeah, and then with the masculine energy, I mean, this also, and not everyone is going to become a parent. But I do think that that's going to resonate. It has to. It absolutely has to. And it's not even necessarily becoming a parent, as in you find out you're expecting. It's stepping up and being a parent to someone. And then on top of that, I'm going to say, if it's not that, then it's like what I think I even said something about this in here. It's like you building an empire. You becoming an emperor, and you're responsible for a lot of people. Taking up the mantle to provide and sustain other people. Teach other people. Guide other people. Oh, the word just Sherpa came out of the word Sherpa just came into my mind. That could be for someone. And look what it said here about the bird, the swallow. Both parents take responsibility of caring for their young. Both. Maybe there's a huge change, power dynamic, or change in a relationship where one parent did most of the parenting and the other one didn't. And now both need to be fully invested because there's a change at home. Both parents are working outside the home now. One person's job or career has taken a different turn and now calls for more time to be dedicated there. The parent that normally isn't fully present or has taken as much responsibility in the past now has to. What did I say about being reborn? It's like you're going to be reborn as a person who takes care of another person. Warning, maybe you're being given an ultimatum that you could potentially even not have access to your children. And you need to step up to the plate. Again, this is a new you. A new you is being renewed, reborn. Wow, I just got warning again. Okay. Maybe you've been in a moment or living a life that kind of shirked responsibilities and you've gotten a warning on that. And that was your wake-up call. Let's see what else we have. Let's get to the bottom of this. Okay. Let's do this tarot. This is Lucid Minds Tarot with the Fata Morgana Oracle together. For the Aquarian Collective, please. Spirit, what are we looking at for the month of August? Okay. We have present. We have past influence. What is it that you should let go? What is it that you should focus on? And moving forward. Bottom of the deck is the Hierophant. Commitment, traditions, being told or feeling the expectations of society of stepping into this role. I feel like you've been bucking tradition. or you may buck tradition. Temperance, prayer. Oh my gosh. The Hierophant, temperance, and number 25, prayer for the rain. Water in a desert. I think you've been asking, after bucking tradition, being confronted with something, you've been asking for rain. And that bolt into that planet, that turned into a sword into that planet. It's like the Hierophant gets his channel from source, from the universe. You prayed for an answer, for help, for sustenance, and you're going to get it big time. It's like getting a lightning bolt. But that sword of knowledge, that clarity, that empowerment as an air sign is coming. Wow. And then you have the key underneath that. Oh my goodness. And then you have unveiling truth. Echoes of legacy in circle of trust. Guys, you are going to be confronted by something big, something that is going to change your status quo, something that is going to change your life. You're not going to be the same version of who you were. And I kept saying reborn, rebirth. The role that you have played is going to change drastically in the month of August. That is what I'm feeling. And I think this is confirming that tremendously. All right, let's take a look at these oracle cards to give us some more flavor on this reading, and then we can go from there. Oak Creek, feminine energy and intuition. Well, here's your feminine and masculine with the masculine energy underneath the deck. The Chariot's coming. That movement. Again, that escape, that sustenance, that water, that rain. Whatever it is that you're missing to be able to be and claim this new version of yourself and be the best new version of yourself is coming to you, because the forces, the divine feminine and divine masculine, are balancing for you. And that's going to also click in your intuition. With the Hierophant, you're going to be able to receive what it is you're asking for. Magic with the Rabbit. Everything in the universe is vibrating energy. Oh, this is okay. The synchronicities in this reading are knocking my socks off. I don't have any on, but if I did, they'd be off. Magic is the manipulation of subtle energies to influence a specific result. We can tune into these energies with our intuition and with practice. Channel the energy for our use. Okay. And what did I say about how I could see the solar waves, the energy waves, the heat waves, and also hear the crackling, like that energy. And then I said I wasn't alone walking through that canyon, walking amongst those stone faces and altars. You are finally able to pick up. Like, you may not have been able to pick up on the subtle energies or didn't want to, but I don't think you're going to have a choice. Whatever is happening to you in August is coming at you like a tower card, like a tower. You know that you're going to have to move in the direction because you can't stay where you are anymore. You're meant to be that more enlightened version of yourself. That person who can authentically be there for others, sustain them, protect them, build for them. There's such a huge caretaker feeling here. It's like you're going to be stepping up to the plate for the biggest role in your life. That's what it is. That's what it is, Aquarius. So however this pans out, that's what you're going to be doing. Wow. And it's rabbit, fertility. It's you creating and funding that empire. Taking ownership of the footprint, legacy you're leaving to those around you. It's not footprint. I can't think of the word. It's like rattling in my brain, and it's there. Carbon footprint. That's what's in there. With the green man, maybe you're taking your company eco-friendly. Maybe you decide to become more eco-friendly, and that's potentially been something you've been putting off because you haven't wanted to absorb the costs, or you were just waiting until you had no other choice, type of thing. That's interesting. Then we have communication. This is the time to speak your truth. People can't usually read your mind. If something needs to be said, it's better for everyone if it is shared. Be kind and thoughtful about your wording. Focus on facts and use I statements. It's again taking responsibility for your own emotions, for you and you. Wow, essentially how you're interacting with the world, with society, with those around you. Taking a more measured approach, right? We had temperance under here. Taking a more measured approach and not offending others. Or realizing your words can hurt, or your words have so much power, so you rethink of how to get your vision across, get what it is you're feeling across. Right? It's a really big sword up there in the cosmos. And I use that word aggressive, like I was wondering if that was an aggressive sword, an aggressive bolt. But it didn't feel that way, but it felt overwhelming, right? Where I wanted to explode into a million pieces. Like maybe some people feel overwhelmed by what it is that you have to say or how you say it. So you need to make it more about you and not about them. But at the same time, be authentically true to your needs and who you are and what your vision is. I keep saying vision, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Emperor card came out or the King of Wands. I don't know. There's something here that you need to be in you need to master your true divine masculine. We also have adamant with diamond. Oh, like it's unbreakable. You're confronting truths that you at some point didn't want to be truth, or you were afraid for them to be true. And as a diamond, I also want to say that we are not seeing its true value. You're not seeing the true value of what's being offered to you. You may not be seeing, you're only experiencing and reacting to your immediate emotions and not seeing all the joy, all the riches it will bring to you. You know, I want to go back to what I said about if it's a company. Maybe you're being forced to do something that you don't want to do. If it's your own personal company or something like that. But in the end, it's going to become a diamond, or it is a diamond. It's just not polished yet. And your first reaction is, this is horrible. It's worthless. It's so stupid. I don't want to have to do all this. Or, this is not going to be the best thing for me. Kind of go in a negative spiral instead of truly seeing what's in front of you. Then we have surprise with wild card. Yeah, I think whatever this is going to be a surprise. I think it's going to be a huge surprise. There's something about a wild card, though. A wild card can really help win the game. People want wild cards in a card game. It's like you're being given a wild card and you're upset you didn't get like the ace of diamonds. Yet you can win the game faster, more quickly with the wild card. You just don't realize it yet, right? You don't realize that you got a diamond in that handful of rocks that you just got. You just think they're all rocks. That's interesting. All right, cool. I like where this is going. And then you have collaboration, and then you have ant at the bottom with an ant colony on top. But also, look at this one ant carrying the colony with that little leaf with the little colony on top of it. I feel like this is you. This is how you're going to feel. And the thing is, ants are so strong. I mean, they can, I don't know, like how many times their weight they can carry and move and dig. I mean, that's you. And yeah. Maybe you feel like now you're going to have the weight of all this on you. But the thing is, you actually can do it very easily. But you're only seeing the negatives, or you're only reacting again to the frustration of having to do this, the surprise, the shock of what you have to do now, but you are failing to see potentially, Aquarius, that you can do it, and that you are going to then also call in collaboration. You're going to also have the help of others to build, right? You had community in here. Under the provide in grasslands, you had community with reef fish. I didn't say it, but it was there and I saw it. You're going to find your community. You're going to find your community. Oh, manifestation clouds. Okay. You're going to find the community that's going to help you and build with you. You may have to do the heavy lifting, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to have your village. Especially if this is becoming a parent or stepping up to be a parent, co-parent when you never wanted to, or it wasn't in the cards for you right now. You're going to find that village to help you. And if this is two people with a divine masculine, divine feminine, you're going to find that village to help both of you. And if this is you having to do the bulk of the work, you're going to find those to help build your vision. This emperor will find his team, his directors, those that he can trust to implement his vision. And you are so strong. An ant is so strong. Don't lose sight of that. Okay. Let's see what your present energy will be in the month of August. The Four of Cups, avoidance. Oh my goodness. I think this is the beginning. Again, with the Hierophant. It's like you don't want to even look in that direction. And look at the way he's also shielding himself from the sun in a very cracked, parched desert landscape. It's like, I've only ever had to worry about me. Yes. Yes. I've only ever had to just worry about my little area to protect me, and everything else was desolate, and everybody else, they're no longer there. Maybe there was only one umbrella and it was yours. And now you realize you can't stay here anymore. It can't just be about you anymore. Now you're being called forward to provide an umbrella for more people. As a parent would for a child, as a parent would for an instant family, as someone having to take on more responsibility at work that they don't want to do. And they find it to be a burden, but all of a sudden you're thrust into taking it on, and you have to because you can't say no. Or you're being told that your ways of doing something in your company that you're in charge of has to change. There's a new world order. I keep getting that. A new world order. And you are being asked to change along with it. Nay, you're being told to. And you are frustrated with that. I think this is how you are starting off your month. Kind of blissfully ignorant of what's going on. And it's like, but not even blissfully ignorant. It's like I'm staying in my own lane. I am not judging you at all. I'm just reading the cards. But I do think, Aquarius, that you guys are so powerful. You guys are going to be truly part of the New World Order. And it starts with fundamentally being changed, being challenged to push you to then that changes other people, that cascades and change for everyone else. It's a heavy role. It's hard to take those roles on, but I do think that that's what we're talking about here, Aquarius. What past influence has been at play here? The dust devil. Number 30, again, 3. Yeah. I think that you're going to be, this is what's coming at you, and you're kind of waiting for the dust to settle to see what you truly have to do. Like, what are you being kind of forced to do? And then you'll make your decision, and then you'll do what it is you have to do, begrudgingly so, but you'll do it. Yeah. Again, energy. I can feel this. It's like you see the storm coming and you're like, I'll just sit here and wait until all the dust settles and see then what I have to do. You're not taking a proactive stance. You're not. You know, people talk about Taurus as being very stubborn. My experience is that Aquariuses are just as stubborn, especially when it comes to your independent streak. It's very difficult to make an Aquarius do something they don't want to do, or it doesn't come from them organically. And I think that's a growth point in the month of August. What's something that you should let go of in the month of August? The 9 of Pentacles. Holy moly, guys. We've been talking about the same thing from the first moment I started recording this. It's not just you anymore. You are being asked in some way to take on a collective leadership role. And you don't want to do it. It's not in your nature, because you're usually so, you're steps ahead, and you don't want to be held back by anyone. But that robs you of the joy of feeling and knowing and experiencing what it's like to be swimming and living with the collective at a more intimate level. It really does. You are being asked to let down your barriers, to welcome in the stewardship of a collective that you're now going to be responsible for. It's like you're being told what you have to offer is not just for yourself. It should be shared, and it will be most effective, most abundant when it is used to enhance and help someone else. That's exactly what I'm feeling. There's this gorgeous gate in the middle of the desert. And that's the Nine of Pentacles, right? Going towards that. You need to go the other way. You need to leave your safe zone. You need to leave your comfort zone. You've achieved your Nine of Pentacles. You know that you can achieve your Nine of Pentacles. Your independent, self-sustaining self. That's not in question here. Your success and your ability to succeed and to rise in any environment is not in question. What you are being asked to let go of is the idea that you've already done this and now it's time to do it with someone else, with other people. You don't stay in the Nine of Pentacles. You want to go to the Ten of Pentacles. You want that collective legacy, that collective success. Maybe that is why I said us or we. Oh, it's amazing how the universe speaks. I fully understand now why, for the first time ever, I saw and said we in my meditation, not just me or I. That is why. You have been an I for so long. You're now going to need to see yourself as a we or an us, not just a me or an I. And this, for me, I'm really excited about it. And I think that my hesitation that may come across is not what I'm feeling, it's what you're feeling. I feel like there's a timidness, there's a hesitation of wanting to take this on. And what you don't see, it's the beauty that is being offered to you, the rarity, the gem, the opportunity to self-actualize and fulfill dreams you don't necessarily even think you have yet. What is it that you should focus on, Aquarius? The Page of Cups. And I love the fact that it's a page, because I think that you are a page in this. They're asking you, Aquarius, to be heart-led, to let love, like lower your boundaries and let love in. And most importantly, give that cup away. Realize that your cup is overflowing. So now it's time for you to fill other people's cups. That's what you're meant to do. And it will bring you so much joy. And it also will be the font for self-renewal and the everlasting perpetual renewal of your cup. But you don't see that just yet, but you will. Focus on that. Hold on to that belief, because what you're being asked to do is your fountain of love, your fountain of regeneration, being reborn into your next iteration of who you should become. Wow. All right, moving forward in the month of August, what are we looking at? Where are you being led to in the month of August? The Seven of Swords. Wow. I think that you're being led to the obliteration of your self-denial. And I think that you're going to find yourself strategizing how to manage what's coming at you. I love how this is an enormous mask that he's carrying on his back. And you see how everything is being peeled away? I think that's you. I think like all the excuses of why you can't do this are going to start falling away. Your true self is coming through, will be revealed. The truth that some things need to be confronted and taken on because it's your responsibility is difficult to accept, but does truly reveal what your strengths are. And again, this is going to lead to riches in your life. It's going to lead to the richness of you. It will enrich your life. I'm going to do a clarifier on that. Page of Swords. Oh my God. It is a globe with a sword straight in front of it. This is what's happening to you. It's like that sword is breaking through your own illusions of what you are limited to doing in life, or that you don't need something more in life, right? That could also be self-delusions. And it's true. When things happen upon us and surprise us and changes that we never expected fall into our laps, or have been dictated to us, a lot of us may push back against that because we're fine. We like the status quo. We're living a good life with the status quo. But again, this is Source saying, the universe saying, sorry. You may feel that way, but your higher self doesn't. That's not what you're here for. I mean, it's like piercing through that mask. And maybe that's the breakthrough and enlightenment that you're going to get in the month of August. You're going to be rocked foundationally. And I even said ego death. I think that there is an ego death going on here. And I think that you are going to have an awakening to that there is so much more that you need to accomplish and do. And you thought you were done, kind of. Like you thought you could control how and when you wanted things to happen to you. And the universe is like, nope. It's the shattering of that ego. The shattering of your ego. Wow. And this is not negative. I just feel that you're going to have difficulties with it, and your initial reaction is that it is. And it's like, you have to get dirty in order to reach that bliss. You need to go through some discomfort in order to recognize that bliss. And you're going to. But I feel, I guess, I feel that it may be uncomfortable, and that you're going to have so many deep realizations, and you're going to be tired. But at the end, I think you're going to be so fulfilled. Again, so fulfilled. Let's do one more. Let's do an advice card, please. Oh my gosh. Guys, shedding sorrow 29, which is 11. This is on your path. As I said, this is on your path. You are being stripped from your comfort zone because you've been kind of stuck there and not wanting to move forward in your evolution. And when I see shedding sorrow, it's you shedding your disappointment that you have to do this, or the disappointment that you initially felt towards whatever this is. You're going to shed that this month too. This month is going to be ever evolving and quite emotional for you. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. This is your advice to keep on going, keep working through this, because you can juggle it all. This is you balancing the yin, the yang, the feminine, the masculine. Again, however this is resonating for you, if it's child, job, it's like keep looking for that balance. Keep balancing. Don't stop moving towards balancing that divine masculine and divine feminine, because that's what's going to get you to the finish line. That's going to call forth the Chariot. It's also going to call in the Lovers card, and they'll give you harmony amongst others in your social interactions. And you'll start seeing the value of your choices that you make when you're dealing with others, right? With the communication. There's a lot of balancing here. There's a lot of balancing of your divine masculine, divine feminine. And you have to be this Knight of Pentacles who never stops. They meticulously go from one step to the next. They dot every I, they cross every T. They don't give up because they're frustrated. He can master this Two of Pentacles. And I think you're going to have difficulty in managing what's being unveiled here in the 3D, along with questioning your own spirituality and what you're being asked to do, or your place in this world, your place in everything, the truth of who you are. You're becoming a changed person. There's, with the twos, there's also this change. You are becoming a changed person with every interaction that you're doing. You're ever evolving. And I think that needs to happen in order for you to get to this finish line. So this is your advice. Don't give up. Don't call it quits. Keep working on this flow, on this balance. Create that perfect recipe of assertiveness and nurturing, give and taking. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that's coming to me. I think that by the end of August, you will have had so much personal growth on how and you perceived yourself and what you could carry, to realize you can be more malleable. This is also planting the seeds for your greening, right? You're going to allow and also move towards, once that Chariot arrives, you're going to move forward and towards this new future, because you're going to start envisioning your life with these changes. And you're going to be able to move towards that vision rather quickly. So I think August is the month that things happen. It's where you find out whatever this is. You have your initial reactions. You push it away. Realize you need to step up and welcome it into your life. And you decide to do so. And that puts you into fixing mode. It puts you into planning mode. By the end of August, guys, you are going to see so much growth and unveiling of a new you that you did not even know that you had, that you did not even know you were capable of. That's what I think is happening to you guys. You're going to shed that sour and that disappointment. Look at this with the Empress. You're going to welcome in this new creation. You're going to welcome in this new version of yourself. You are becoming, being rebirthed into a new version of yourself. Oh my gosh, underneath that we have the Fool. Oh, these cards are amazing. Aquarius, this is just the beginning. This is the beginning. August is going to be the beginning of a new life, a new version of you. And I am very excited for you. And I know that you're also going to be very excited. You're just having human reactions, I think, in the beginning. And that's normal and that's called for because you are a human. Allow yourself the grace to experience your emotions, but also allow yourself the opportunity for growth. And let love and kindness lead the way. I can't wait to see how the rest of the year works out for you guys. You guys are amazing. You are so strong, and I wish nothing but the best for you. And I do feel it's coming. You will eventually see this as the diamond it is. Maybe a diamond in the rough right now, but it will become a beautiful polished diamond for you. And you'll be rejoicing later. You really will. All right, guys. Till next time.